Alright, hey, what's going on, guys? What I have in for repair today is a PS5, and it's not a normal situation. So when the customer brought this in, they said that this PS5 was working, and then out of nowhere it stopped showing video. The console's still turned on, didn't show any video. I inspected the HDMI port, realized that it wasn't an HDMI port, but I still went ahead and changed. Also went ahead and changed the HDMI encoder, but I'm still not getting any picture. So I wanted you guys to see how I solve these issues with consoles that I've tried an HDMI port and an HDMI encoder, and just kind of like my thought process of how I'm gonna try to resolve this issue with this console, right? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take this console back apart again. I've done this a few times, taking it apart and just trying to solve the issue, but I'm just walking you guys through it because I'm still having the same issue, and I figured this would be a good video for you guys to see. So taking back out the board, and then we'll put it underneath the microscope. Let's do some measurement. That's the first thing I like to do. No, you know what? Let's just inspect. This is the HDMI encoder that I already replaced. We're just going to inspect it first. Even though most of these look good, what we're gonna do is there's a few that I want to touch up. Okay, so that's what we want to do first, is touch these ones up that look like they need some solder on them, and they don't look like they're making a good connection. Because even though it looks like everything is sitting flush, at the same time it doesn't look like everything is seated. It looks like some of the pads are not making a connection, and that's why we're not getting a signal. So let's go ahead and let's touch them up and see what happens. I don't know where that capacitor went. It was right here though. We can replace that capacitor. That's not that big of a deal. But let's clean up the area and let's see what we have, and then we can replace capacitors or anything like that that needs to be replaced. I'm gonna make or break this encoder anyways. If those capacitors, I mean, if one or two is missing, it's not gonna make or break it. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do some measurements now, and let's see what we get. Oh, that's not even soldered right here. We got to take care of that one. And this one, getting a good reading. Good, good, good. Okay, well, okay, so let's solder this pin back in, and let's see what happens. We'll do a test right after. Because when I was told that it's an HDMI issue, I figured it couldn't be if the port is okay. It has to be something else. But I didn't want to just go for the encoder, because the encoder is a lot more expensive than the actual HDMI port itself. Okay, now let's test those. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Let's just clean the area before we test again. Because if it's good, then all we have to do now is just do one more cleaning, and then we should be ready to put it back together. But that's what I would do if I place the HDMI port and then place the encoder. I don't solve the problem. So, and I don't know if I have solved the problem yet, but I'm just telling you guys that's the first part. Go back over everything, double check my work. After I double check my work, then I might go to check some voltage elsewhere, because I've already done some reading of the pins to make sure that all the pins are at least somewhat decent. That's the first thing, and then from there I'll go back and do, like I said, the reading. But I still have some junk inside this port right here. You can see it. Okay, right up, and let's give it another test. Let's get a Q-tip. Okay, so the liquid metal is pretty good on this one. It's pretty good. It's not like sometimes you see already burning, like the chip has some oxidation on it. This one is not, which is good. There we go. And then on the main housing, we'll do the same. Then here, go around. Okay, and there we go on that. And now let's put this back in. I'm not gonna add any more liquid metal to it because there's no oxidation. There's nothing that's shown me that, hey, it might need some more liquid metal. Okay. Oh, it looks like it's on. I see something. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what it was just all the pins needed to be touched up again, and I did go ahead and touch them all up, and now we have image. That's a fix. So if you guys are doing these, you run into that problem, the first thing I would do is the exact same thing that you see me do.